How do people usually start these things? Hey, how are you? Hey, how's it going? Ladies and gentlemen! Hey, I hope you are having a great day today. I would like to do a Leetcode problem. This is a great problem if you are just starting off in the data structures and algorithms world. Maybe you're studying for a technical interview, or maybe you're even studying to get your first ever software engineering job like I am. So if we go to Leetcode, we are going to do the first Leetcode problem, the number one problem, if you will. I don't know if it's the most popular, honestly, but it is the first Leetcode problem, and it's called toSum. So what is toSum, you might ask? Well, given an array of integers, so an array of numbers called nums, and an integer target, return the indices of the two numbers such that they add up to target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution. So we're always going to have a solution to our problem, and you may not use the same element twice. We can use the same number twice, but not the same element in the array. And we can return the result in any order. Order does not matter in this case. So if we look at our first example, we have an array called nums, 2, 7, 11, and 15, and our target number is 9. So we need two numbers in this nums array that add up to 9. And in this case, it is of course 2 and 7. But we don't want to return 2 and 7. We want to return the indices of 2 and 7. This is a zero indexed array. We're working with JavaScript here. So we have index 0 and index 1 for 2 and 7 respectively. That's what we return. If we look at our second example, we have 3, 2, 4, and our target number is 6, so we return indices 1 and 2 for the numbers 2 and 4, respectively, because 2 and 4 add up to 6. And we have a target number of 6 again in our third example. The only two elements in the array are 3 and 3. We return indices 0 and 1 to denote elements 3 and 3. So let's start coding. I'm going to start off by making an object, number object, and this object is where I'm essentially going to store every number that we've seen so far, and I'm going to store with it the index that I found that number at in the array. So in order to do that, let's make a for loop, a classic for loop where I is equal to 0 to start, and we're going to go while I is less than the nums array dot length, so nums dot length, and we'll increment I every time we finish an iteration of the loop. Moving forward, what I want to do is find the difference between the target number and the current number in the nums array. So let diff, I'll call my variable diff, equal target minus nums at I. So every time I increases or increments, we will have a different number in the nums array. Next up, what I want to do is I want to actually check if we've seen that difference before. So I'll use this syntax, if diff in number object. This is a great way to check to see if you have a key in an object. And if we do, I'm going to return an array of two different elements. And those two different elements are going to be the value of diff in the number object and the current value of I, which is going to be the index of the current element that we are looking at. And regardless, if we don't find what we're looking for, I want to set our number in the number object. This is going to be the current number that we're looking at in nums, and that value in the object is going to be equal to its index in the array, I. I'll run the code here, and we can see it works. I'll submit it, and it gives us the correct answer. So let's go through an example. We start with our empty number object, and while I is equal to 0, we're going to go through this numbers array. Let diff equal target minus nums of I. So nums of 0 is 2, 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. So do we have 7 in our number object? The answer is no. So we skip over the rest of this conditional, and we go to line 13, and we put nums of I in our object. What is nums of I? Well, remember we said nums at 0 is 2. So we put 2 in our object, and its value is the current value of I, which is 0. And then we go through the loop again. This time I is equal to 1. 9 minus 7 is equal to 2. Is 2 in our number object? Actually, yes, it is. It's right there. It's the first key that we put in our array. So we return the value of 2 in our number object. So it's going to be 0 because the value of the key 2 is 0 and the current value of I, which is 1. And that's our answer. That's exactly what they were looking for. We can go through the second example that they give us right here. And here we go. So for loop, I equals 0. The difference of our target 6 minus nums of 0, which is 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. And do we have 3 in our number object? No, we don't. Our object is still empty because we just started the problem. So we move on to line 13 and we say number object at 3 is equal to I, which is 0. And we do the loop again. Target minus nums of 1. 6 minus 2 is equal to 4. And we look, is 4 in our number object? It's not, so we go to line 13. Number object at 2 is equal to I, which is 1. 2 is the key, and 1 is the value. And we go through one more time for the final element in the array, which is 4. So 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. Is 2 in our number object? Yes, it is. So we go on to line 11, and we return the value of 2 in the object, which is 1, and the current value of I, which is 2. And there's our answer. That's the exact answer that they were looking for. We'll do it one last time, the final example. Our array is 3 and 3. This is where it becomes important that they said you may not use the same element twice. Here, 3 and 3 are actually not the same element. They are the same number, but they take up 2 different places, 2 different indices in our array. So they are 2 different elements of the same value, which is fine. So going through the array, we say 6 minus 3 is equal to 3. Is 3 in our object yet? It is not. So we go to line 13 and we put 3 in our object with the current value of I, which is 0. And we do it again. We use 3 again because the second element is also 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. Is 3 in our object? Yes, it is. So we go to our return statement and we say that we want to return the value of 3 in the number object, which is 0, and the current value of I, which is 1. And again, that is exactly what they're looking for. This is a great place to start if you are just starting off with data structures and algorithms. Best of luck to you all in your journey. Please go to Leetcode, play around with the code. I really like going to my submissions. You can see how you compare, or your solutions compare to other people's solutions in terms of runtime and in terms of memory usage. You can even click here on your accepted solution and it gives you all of these great charts that you can zoom in on to see other people's solutions if you want. Here's a faster solution. You can see slower solutions as well, and you can see them in terms of memory distribution. So I implore you to really play around with Leetcode, maybe play around with the code, put console logs in wherever you find necessary to see what values you're getting and where. Maybe try to break the code. It's really the best way I find to learn how to do these things. So once again, best of luck to you in all of your journeys. Please comment in the section below. Let me know what other Leetcode problems you'd like to see next, and I'll see you next time.